Saving lives through better road safety is an absolute priority for the International Transport Forum. And this is an area of policy making where intervention on the basis of sound evidence is vital, and reliable data collection and analysis is critical to that evidence. ITF supports this evidence gathering through our network of crash data agencies IATAT and through our parallel Safer City Streets initiative. The network function of this initiative is critical, providing city data experts and policymakers with colleagues to support each other in developing better systems. And the database that they feed enables comparisons of improvement over time and comparisons of performance between cities to be made. Cities need their own forum to benchmark data because of technical issues with their data sets and to focus on the crash risks most typical of shared public space in cities and focus on the interventions most effective in reducing deaths and serious injuries in cities towards zero. This fall, we released the latest benchmarking report from the network, and it monitors progress in reducing deaths towards the goals set by the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety, the goal of 50% cut in deaths and serious injuries. And our cities recorded over the last decade a 33% reductions in deaths, which is very positive, but obviously needs to accelerate to meet the targets set. The report compares performance adjusted to the daytime populations of cities, and this immediately highlights the scope for improvement by transfer of experience from city to city. Detailed figures show that zero deaths have already been achieved in some years by some cities for some road user groups, and their rates of improvement are also compared to national trends, which illustrates that cities can lead the way, both in the fastest improving countries and also in developing countries with much higher rates of mortality. The results were discussed at the conference with detailed exchanges on effective interventions at our latest conference in Guadalajara, Mexico, hosted by the government of the state of Jalisco. And in the conference, the network functions particularly well because of collaborations with partner organizations, and these include the Inter-American Development Bank, the World Bank, Vital Strategies, POLIS, WRI, and the Global Alliance of Road Safety NGOs. Policy exchange at the conference focused on the fundamental requirement of safe streets for achieving the equity, gender, and sustainability agendas of our cities. The core task of protecting vulnerable users, or rather ensuring safe streets for everybody, was at the center of what we looked at, along with investing in safe access to public transport and effective engagement with the public. And we focused on the core intervention of effective speed management with 30 km/h maximum zones where road users mix on the streets. And the conference supported the key recommendations set out in our benchmarking report. This is first to ensure consistent collection of reliable urban road safety data by setting and assigning the budget and resources to be able to do this. And also to ideally create urban traffic observatories that collect not just road safety data, but combine it with general mobility data to generate the crash risk exposure indicators and the safety performance indicators we need to monitor progress. Secondly, cities need to set ambitious reduction targets for the number of traffic crash casualties in their cities that are aligned with the UN Decade goal of a 50% reduction, and in Europe aligned with the EU goal of a 50% reduction by 2030 and close to zero deaths by 2050. And cities should also consider adopting integrated urban mobility plans based on safe system principles. Now, in Europe, sustainable urban mobility plans are required by legislation. They're based on safety principles, but they could usefully add quantitative targets and performance monitoring into the requirements. And although it's a legal requirement only in the European Union, this is an applicable system everywhere. If cities are going to achieve their objectives of equitable, more inclusive and sustainable mobility, which needs at its core safe streets for that mobility.